there, and I hope we can begin to at least implement that as a sentiment. So recognising the continued dispossession of Indigenous people, and in the hope that we can continue to change our behaviours accordingly. Now, having said that, Speed Data Muslim, where did it come from? What's it about? And these events, congratulations to everybody who continues to turn up, in the hope that we may somehow have something interesting to offer, or an insight which is not on offer anywhere else. These events were quite naively and innocently born out of a need to speak to a humanity and speak to a narrative and a conversation beyond what seems to be, excuse me, on offer by both the media and politicians. And it seems to me, if I was a non-Muslim and I had no idea about Islam or any insight or experience, I would be putting deadlocks on my door. I would be so afraid of anything called Muslim, and my anxiety would continue to increase if I believed the media narrative and the politicians' narrative. Whether that's overt or whether that's implicit, it seems to stimulate a lot of fear and divisiveness in a society that I've not grown up to know. I've grown up to know Australia to be open. We go for the underdog. We have unique, weird characteristics where, you know, we give per capita to disaster more than anywhere else in the world. We have a humanity that has been sadly harnessed and, I guess, stimulated and manipulated into divisiveness as opposed to an openness and a welcoming that is uniquely Australian as well. So that on the one hand, all the while at the same time there's this other conversation going on in response to the Islamophobia that seems to be, please accept that Muslims are a peaceful people. Islam is not about the representation in the media. Now what I say to that is Islam has also parted company with the revelation of Islam. That Islamic practices, when tested and contested and interrogated across the globe, do not stack up in accordance with the underpinning principles of Islam, as far as I'm concerned, which are justice, compassion, knowledge. So from there I thought, how do we, as women, begin to speak to the male-dominated versions of Islam that seem to be on offer, as well as respond to the hostilities around Muslims who seek, on the one hand, to fear us because they just think they believe what is being said, and or to rescue those poor downtrodden women who wear the hijab and niqab from their oppression. And so what we're offering up is an alternative to that. And as women, and I use these words deliberately, as women we are waging war on prejudice, on discrimination. Through our warfare is compassion. And these are occasions that the community has clearly embraced, and time and again this event fills up, and every time I worry about it, and it seems to develop its own rhythm. And so please, thank you for coming and enjoy yourselves. Order coffee, tea, and I'm not going to take too much time because I tend to waffle a little bit. But do not be polite. The occasion here is not to speak to people's Islamophobia, and I think that's important to understand, nor, so Muslim women aren't here to justify ISIS or otherwise, but the tone I would like us to take is one of inquiry. Why and how, as opposed to please explain. And if we're mindful both of the way in which we inquire and investigate and offer up intrigue, then equally these events are about an experience where we both walk away a little bit changed. So thank you all for coming, and enjoy yourselves, and we'll wrap it up at the end, and hopefully it'll be another occasion that you'll continue to talk about, and thanks to the community of Brunswick, East Brunswick. Thanks guys.